Today we're on a Swedish press drive with the new Kia EV2. We're out here in the Stockholm archipelago. It's just beautiful. We're at a place called Marholmen, so if you got the chance, just swing in, because this is a phenomenal place. And phenomenal is also the segment of small cars nowadays. They become more and more popular, and of course Kia wants a piece of the action, and they're filling out their electric segment with this EV2. So it's their least smallest car if you compare it to the Picanto, but it's not a small car because it's got very good space inside, and the measurements of it is rather okay to be a B segment car, because I thought that that would be more of a C-segment car, but it is a B-segment car. It's 406 centimeters in length. The wheelbase is 2,600 millimeters, so it becomes a lot of space inside. And the best thing is that it gets some technology that drips down from its brothers and its sisters, from the EV6, EV9, EV5, EV4, and the EV3. And this is rather funky design. It's called Opposites United, and it's rather bold, because the thing is that it might look in some people's eyes like, ugh, it looks a bit ugly, especially the EV4. But I like these moves, and I've always talked about, I like that bold move when you do something extra with the design. But when you look at their total lineup, you can see that they're, in line with each other. And I must say that the design of this one, it grew on me rather quickly when I saw it. It's always like that when you see a car on pictures and then you see it in real life. So if we just check the front of the car, because it feels like an SUV and it's supposed to be an SUV. To me, it feels like a small car, a crossover, but we're back to this thing about talking about the status etiquette that you want to put on cars. Everything should be called crossover SUV, just because the customers should feel like, well, I'm driving an SUV, I'm driving a crossover, and that feels a little more, well, a little more posh in some way. But to me, in my mind, I classify this car as a small car, which it's supposed to be. The design of it, I like these individual headlights here, very beautiful, and I just love that they skip these big electric LED ramps that you can see from the back and in the front. And that goes for the back as well. Individual lights there, that is splendid. So this is built in Slovakia. So it is a European built cars, and that is very good because they want to approach the European customers. And talking about the battery, which is important here. So there's two different battery options. The one that we're driving here is the base version. If we go to the trim lines, well, then there is the base version. It's just called EV2. Then there is the EV Plus, and later on, the long range will pop up, and then you'll also get the GT line. With different equipment in these ones, and also bigger rims. The dimensions of the rims are 16, 18, and 19 inch. And the 42.2 kilowatt hour battery, well, that provides you with a range of 317 kilometers. It's LFP battery, and the funny thing is that the smaller battery, well, it's a bit more compact and has a bit more horsepower. So 0 to 100 is done in 8.5 seconds compared to the 61 kilowatt hour battery, which provides you with a little less horsepower, and it does it in 9.5 seconds, 0 to 100. Now, in small cars, you don't need that much power and acceleration, and I like the type of attitude of not being too frenzy and too quick and too hysteric in, the type of drive. This is just a smooth one that you drive in town, use as a second car, or if you want to use it as a first car, that is fine, but it's not performance that it's its main core here. So it works just fine, relaxed and nice. The range in the 61 kilowatt hour battery is 446 kilometers, so that's plenty. You can charge this one at a speed of 115 kilowatts at a fast charging station. At home, 11 kilowatts. And at a fast charging station, well, you charge it from 10% up to 80% in 29 minutes, 30 minutes for the bigger battery. So in a small car, well, the trunk capacity might be a little limited, but here it's rather fine. This car comes in a 5-seater, or you can choose a 4-seater. And in the 4-seater, that's pretty smart because you can adjust the bench or the seating, you know, forward, backward, depending on if you want more leg room and if you want more space in the back. So that's pretty neat. 362 liters, that's the standard measurements of the boot compartment. And when you shove it forward, well, then it's 402 liters. Then of course you can shove your seats all the way in, so they are folded down. But here's also very smart. You can remove that bottom floor, and then you get a bit more depth here. But it's still 362 up to the parcel shelf, I think. But this is not bad at all. I like it. And one of the product specialists, he put in his golf bag, and that was rather impressive. So this works. It's smart. Well, inside here, you're familiar with the Kia look in buttons and the complete layout in some way, but it's a little different here, and I like the way you sit in this car. The best thing in this one is that you get electrical adjustable seats here in the Plus version, and you can get down fairly low, because in some other Kias I think that you feel like you're sitting a bit on top of it, and I don't really like that. I think the majority of customers, they like to sit a bit higher. But even though when you sit this low, you still have very good vision all around, and it feels like you're driving an SUV. So when you come in here, it feels more SUV than when you look at it from the outside. So like that a lot. Crystal clear display, which stretches all the way here. It's a little bit messy, in my opinion, sometimes, and it's a little bit covered, the ventilation display here behind that one, so you need to pop your head out a little, but it doesn't really matter. You get into the menus. They are, as usual, Kia menus. It's rather quick, but something that I noticed is that when you push these buttons, which aren't that responsive, and that is something that has followed along in some of their other models, it takes a little time. There's a little delay. So when you drive, that becomes a little annoying. But when you're into the menus, then it works very good. Everything is located well. This is the usual gear lever. Push that forward, push that backward, push it. It's very quick, intuitive in that way, and you start it here, even though it's a little bulky. Steering wheel is cool, almost like in an Xpeng, a little bit of that egg-shaped form on it, but I think that it's just perfect. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, and it looks beautiful with the stitching. The buttons here, they give good response, and you can quickly adjust. So the lane assist is being shut off, the speed warning is shut off. And then on this button here, we got the different drive modes. So you can choose between Eco, Normal, Sport, and Snow. But one more thing here is that you got a camera up here, and that monitors you and your front passenger. So if you don't have the seatbelt on, or if you look at some direction, it starts to warn, and you can't really turn that off. So that is a new law. The passenger, maybe it's not as, whiny about her or him sitting there, but we tried it out with the seatbelt and it warned. So that is something new, and that is something irritating, because you really want to shut these things off when you drive a car, because these bongs and warning sounds, they can be, well, in the long run, a little annoying. But apart from that, you can turn off some things in here. It also has a new updated system, so when you drive on the motorway, you just need to hold your finger, and if you catch a car, which you drive faster then you can just indicate, and it swoops out to the left lane and then back into the right if you indicate to the right. Well, you got some heat in the seats, and these are placed here. The heat for the steering wheel is placed on this side. That's rather new. I like the feel in the buttons for the temperature. It's okay. It's just big. You can have big gloves on and still maneuver that. You got regen, you got pedal, and it's fairly strong. So it comes to a complete stop. You can preheat the battery in this Plus version. So when you set your destination for a charger, it will start to preheat automatically. But in the Kia EV2, that means the base version, well, you need to preheat your battery manually, but that works. So pretty quick in its response here, and well, I like that, even though I'm not that fond of this whole system because I think it's a little messy. You need to engage rather much into it. But that is something that you get used to. Otherwise, I like the space in here. You can put your phone here and you have a induction charger. You can adjust these cups down here depending on how big they are. Good space down here to put some stuff. And you got some quick chargers, USB-C. Harman Kardon sound system, that sounds just brilliant. Some of the buttons here for the parking camera and a little storage here in the armrest. So I think that the space for putting stuff is very, very generous. Then we come to the seats. They are pretty stiff. Let's see how they feel when we're out on the road. But I think that when you sit into them, they're pretty hard. I don't really mind having a bit harder seats, but these ones, in my opinion, is not that well stuffed. Especially the backrest feels rather hard, but even the base seat. But we'll have a ride and we'll see how they feel after a little while. And this is also a nice little trade. As you open the door, it says, "Have a nice day," written in here, or engraved as well. So nice little treat. Makes you just a little more happy. Let's try out the back seat, and oh my, it's rather big. Now let's put it into the position where I sat in the front seat and shove it all the way forward. I mean, look at this. I still got space when I'm sitting in the furthest position. But then, if you're very tall, well, look at this. There's oceans of space all of a sudden. This is rather good. And one more thing, in this 4-seat version, well, you can adjust the backrest in different positions. That is not bad. So it's about class-leading space when you alter the seats like that. I like it. And somewhat it feels, no, they're almost just as stiff actually as in the front. So you get no seatbelt in the middle, but you got ISOFIX. And I just like the look of the seats. Nice pattern. A little plastic here, but doesn't matter. You still got the "Have a nice day" here in the back. These big Harman Kardon speakers that are very powerful. And then you got vehicle to load in this car, so you can connect some cords into that one. You also got the USB-C fast chargers integrated into the seats there. And it's spacious enough for my head. I'm 174 centimeters, so it works. And if you're taller, well, when you shove this seat back, you can stretch out and you can lean down a little, so you can be rather tall sitting back here. And that is impressive in a compact car like this one. Here we go. We start off in normal. The CD value of this car is pretty good for being a little more raised. It's 0.29. So it's supposed to be rather efficient. Something that we noticed, me and my colleague here, was that the tire noise, it's supposed to be dampened, and they worked a lot around that. But still, we've been driving on both, brand new asphalt that has been laid out here, on some broken roads and some, normal, pretty good roads. But you can sense that there is a constant sound from the tires. Then on top of that, it's a bit windy today, but you can feel that there is some wind noise to it as well. That's just what it is. Complain about small things, but it's a small car. I think that overall the quality, the isolation is fair. Let's try out the regen, because it's supposed to come to a complete stop. We have it in level 3. And then you come to a complete stop. So there you go. All right, so we do a little sporty take on it. And I must say that the steering inputs are rather fine, because the whole car feels a little juddery. You can feel that the chassis is not that sporty. But I like that when you have a rather sharp steering, then with the whole car, the whole dynamic of the car becomes a lot better. So this is not bad, but yet they do not want to portray it as a sporty car, but you get the response. It's there. Off the line, it's not that quick, it's not that immediate, and not that, frantic. It doesn't spin off. And I like that gradual input of power in an electric car. It's got an updated system that lets you pass cars. As you drive on the motorway, you got the lane assist set, you got the steering set, I mean the automatic steering set. And if you want to pass this car because you drive a little quicker, then you're just supposed to turn the indicator, gently only need to put your hand on it. There we go, now it steers, I didn't do anything. That's also a thing that is updated, that you're just able to put your finger onto the steering wheel and it senses that and then it activates again. So it doesn't sense that you have completely removed your hands from the steering wheel due to safety reasons. Now we're holding it slightly and yeah, moves into the second file again. And at motor speeds here at about 120 kilometers an hour. Feels comfortable, feels rather relaxed and soft like a bigger car. But the wind noise isn't the thing that is the most intrusive here. It's still the tire noise. And you might think that, couldn't they have dampened that a little bit more, because it feels very premium, the whole experience of everything here. I mean, it's not super high premium, but it's enough. And they've worked some with tire noise to reduce that a little, but still, it is rather intrusive once again. The prices, they start for the EV2 standard range at 331,900 Swedish crowns. What is that? About 31,000 euros approx, depending on where you live. And the EV2 standard range plus 5-seat, 365,900, so about 35,000 euros. EV2 standard range plus 4-seater is 369,900, so about 36,000 euros. But the private leasing price here in Sweden is 3,495 a month. And that is pretty good, because this car comes with a heat pump as a standard, and you can also choose a pearl color into that price as well. That's what you get as standard. So I think this one will be interesting, good, and I think it's strong in its competitive league. But there are some cars that are, coming in very soon that are a little interesting as well. So we'll just see how it will stack up.